Hello, listeners, and welcome to the airline called
The Doctor's Watcher, the parking lot attendant's airline about every podcast of Doctor Who.
Please remain in your seat and keep your seatbelt buckled for the entirety of the podcast.
If you are seated in an exit row, please familiarize yourself with however you can turn your podcast app off on your listening device.
And please try not to scream in the event of an emergency.
Or a bad joke.
I don't know, that screaming about that is kind of fair.
Yeah, I suppose.
That'd be funny to see like someone on a subway or whatever, like listening to their headphones and then just suddenly,
Yeah,
another bad joke.
I've definitely seen people like laugh on the subway to whatever they're listening to, but I don't think I've ever seen anyone scream.
Yeah. Well, on that note, how have you been since last episode, Kyle?
I've been all right. Work kind of sucked yesterday because there was I figured I would talk about that a little bit. There was this incident that happened where we're basically coming up to pretty much the biggest and busiest weekend of the year for the industry that my company is in. And our biggest client, who is, probably going to be spending tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on us through that weekend, was having this issue where our app was just freezing up their browser entirely. Which kind of sucks if the biggest client can't use the app during the biggest weekend.
Right. Little tiny problem there.
So I was, requested to join the incident call where we're trying to figure out what's going on. And of course, it turns out that it was not just one issue. It's kind of the accumulation of a few years of tech debt and inefficiencies. And of course, it's something that only really happens on really big accounts, basically. If you can imagine, you have apples, right? And then you can put apples into a bucket, and then you can put a bunch of buckets into a truck. And so then in our database, we've got a table of trucks and a table of buckets and a table of apples. But an individual apple as a digital object can actually be in multiple buckets, right? Mm-hmm. So then we have a table of bucket apple relations that says apple number 12 is in bucket 18, and here's some metadata about that relation. And then apple number 12 is also in bucket 25, and here's metadata about that. And there are configuration settings at the apple level and the bucket level and the truck level. And so we had this issue where when you open a truck on the front end, then it's making a separate API request for every single apple of every single bucket of that truck. And the truck doesn't actually even care about the apples. So you don't even need the apples when you're looking at the truck's configuration. So first we're all right, we don't need to make those requests until you're looking at a bucket. Then we need to request the apples in that bucket.
Right.
So we made that change. That helped a little bit, but not enough. And then we're on the back end, it looks like whenever you request an apple the backend is making like 3 to 5 calls out to this third-party Apple service that we use. We shouldn't be making all those calls. And it turns out like this third-party service that we use has metadata about these apples. And if our database doesn't have that metadata, it'll go request it from the third-party service. But then apparently we're not saving it.
Oh,
so
shit.
then we have to request it again next time you want that apple.
Yeah, I was following along and thinking, like, okay, that's probably good. Like, they want the metadata. But if you're not saving it, like, that is not good.
So, yeah, we're like, all right, let's run a script that's going to look at every apple in our system. And if it doesn't have the metadata, we'll request it and save it. And so we ran that, on our prod database, took like, I don't know, 10 minutes to make
Nice.
like 3 to 5 requests for every active apple in the system that's missing metadata.
Wow.
But it all has it now. And we're like, all right, that speeded things up a little bit, but still not enough. We had gotten it from like, originally you'd open the truck page, and as soon as you tried to look at a bucket, the browser would freeze for like 5 to 8 minutes. And it would either eventually resolve and become interactable again after 5 to 8 minutes, or maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it's just frozen.
Dang, that is ludicrous.
And of course, like, it's most of our clients have like 2 to 3 apples in each bucket, 2 to 3 buckets in each truck. Any given apple is only in 2 to 3 buckets, but our biggest client puts like 20 apples into a bucket and then 20 buckets into that truck. And then those same 20 apples into 20 different buckets in 20 different trucks and whatever.
Holy shit.
So then we were realizing, when we request, like, on the apple selection screen, we need to have like a list of all the apples, right? Because you're picking which ones you want. And when we request that list of all the apples, we're returning like several megabytes of data. And that's like way too much for what is actually being represented there, and way more than what the front end actually needs. Because it turns out when you request an apple, in the Apple object that we return to you, we're also giving you all of the buckets that it belongs to, and not just like the bucket IDs, but like the full bucket objects of every bucket that it belongs to. So yeah, it was like, on the back end, we have like n+1 issues nested in n+1 issues, nested in n+1 issues. And then on the front end, we're, making like unnecessary duplicative requests for data that we don't actually need yet. And all this stuff that's just like little inefficiencies and little things that we're like, yeah, we should fix that at some point. But then all just kind of like snowballed all at once on our biggest client the week before the biggest weekend. So
I mean, I guess good thing it happened now and not this weekend and not the biggest weekend.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, yesterday was exciting.
So is there no like at scale load testing occurring there?
No, not really.
It's capitalism. Why the fuck would they do that? That costs money to find and kill bugs. That costs money.
Well,
that's fun. That sounds, at least like kind of an interesting problem.
Yeah, it was kind of interesting to just like figure out, find all the different things. They're like, this, like, we made huge improvements here, but it didn't fix it enough. We made huge improvements here, didn't fix it enough, though. We're like, the user experience for this client is now an order of magnitude better than it was, but it's still like they open the bucket page and have to wait for like a minute before they can actually use it. So we're like, all right, that's like good enough to get through this weekend, but we're going to be like hot fixing it some more on Monday.
Man. Like I sometimes wonder, and I don't really wonder. I think I just know the answer. Like, non-technical folks have no fucking clue how much shit's just kind of like hanging by a shoestring or less.
Uh-huh.
Like I had a fun work issue yesterday. Also fun meaning like interesting problem with assholes angry that it's happening and wanting the people who didn't cause the problem to fix the problem. And that people is me. So I had to do a bunch of very tedious Windows admin work by hand, basically because like we had one team, our deployments team, which obviously packages and deploys bits of code, software. And for the longest time, they were in their pipeline, including, an installation of prerequisites without which their code can't run.
Sure.
But no one on their team was maintaining that part, the prerequisites, and no one knew how to do so.
Oh, that's exciting.
Like, yeah, like how do you guys fucking not know the prereqs for the code you're making? But how does that happen? I don't know, but apparently it did. So, and that part of the deployment just kept fucking up over and over and over again. And the person who is kind of their like higher up leader, like I think she's pretty much the leader of over all the teams that are in that group or whatever. She's almost sea level, but I think not quite. Not totally sure. This woman is a horrible jerk. And like, whenever her teams fuck up and make a huge issue that other teams have to clean up, she's like, just sits there on the call being rude to the other teams who have to clean up her issue. And I think people I know my team to a person hates her. But like, I think other higher ups around the company started noticing, oh, so-and-so is a real asshole in these situations and like really seems to enjoy abusing the people that have stepped in to rescue us, and we can't have this happen anymore. So basically they told her team, like, stop doing the prerequisites part. You fuck this up over and over. Do not do it anymore.
Wow.
So they're just like, okay. So they stopped. The people who deploy our VMs, they tried to push it off on them, and they're like, but we don't know that part. Like, that's outside of our realm. We don't know your software. We just know how to build VMs really good. And, of course, my team, we're like, we don't know how your software works. We don't know how to build VMs really good. We're looking at all this shit at scale. We're good at reading logs and using, as we mentioned last episode, Splunk, and like kind of pointing to where issues are, but we can't solve the issue with your code. We can just say it's here.
Right.
So like no one, it's become this like hot potato in the company. No one knows how to run this prerequisite script or pipeline. No one knows how to maintain it. No one wants to or has the time to dedicate anyone to maintaining this thing. To me, it seems clearly it's like, okay, part of the deployment team should just be dedicated to that then. Or like part of their time, I don't know, like carve out a fucking chunk to install the shit to make the software you're building run.
Yeah, seriously.
Like, they're the ones who should know. But instead, always instead, my team gets to, log on manually to, I think I did 20 to 30 different VMs yesterday. Some cloud, some on-prem, just logging in, running an instruction, turning off a service, running a different instruction, running a couple PowerShell scripts, validating a thing was installed, rebooting over and over and over and over. Like, wow. That's a simplified version too. There was like more steps. So stupid.
Yeah, that sounds like it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at least there's a job that I can do that I get paid for, and I was able to listen to some pretty good music while doing it.
Nice.
So can't complain too much, I guess, but man.
Yeah, I mentioned in our previous episode when I was talking about the 1001 Albums project that I didn't get a chance to listen to my album yesterday. Yeah, it was because I was...
Oh, is that why?
I was on like the incident Google Meet call for literally my entire workday.
Oh, that's awful.
Uh-huh.
Does your work call them war rooms?
No, we call them incident rooms usually.
Like that to me makes sense. It's an incident, you're on a call or in a room.
Uh-huh.
It's not a fucking war room. The only war that happens in those rooms is a war against my sanity.
Seriously.
What are we at war against bugs? Like, come on, people, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely prefer the incident terminology.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like some, veteran who misses killing, is like, oh, well, let's call it a war room because that's what war is like.
Uh-huh.
Or someone who, probably not a veteran, is probably someone who's, like, couldn't physically get into the military but wanted to.
Yeah, that seems more
like
likely.
We're at war now.
Yeah, let's fight those bugs and
right.
Kill the issues.
The guy that, at the end of the day gets into his Ford F-250 to drive, 2 miles home to his suburban condo.
Right. His Ford 250 with like nary a scratch in the paint of the bed.
Right. The truck nuts have been there for like 2 years, but they still look shiny. There's no dust. There's no scratches.
Uh-huh. Incidentally, on the subject of trucks, the Cybertruck that belonged to a neighbor of mine like half a block away, I haven't seen in like a month or two probably, so I don't know what happened, but it's kind of nice that it's gone.
Nice. That's so funny. That kind of happened to me too. Our neighbor across kind of kitty corner, they had one. It wasn't really theirs, but like they had it because they were having issues like shipping it to the person who, like the lady's brother that it actually belonged to. And yeah, that I kept, wanting to like open it up and throw my garbage into it or something.
Uh-huh.
Because they just look like garbage cans on wheels, garbage dumpsters.
The one in our neighborhood, I'm pretty sure was a Christmas present because it showed up on New Year's Eve, actually, but it had like, I could see like a card on the dashboard and stuff like that. And it was around for a little bit at first, and then it disappeared for a few weeks and then reappeared having been wrapped.
Huh.
And it was like kind of a black to red gradient pattern, but on one of the doors, the wrap was like a few inches off, and like the gradient
oh no
didn't align with the rest of the truck, so that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, then I just haven't seen it in probably at least a month, maybe 2 at this point, so who knows.
Yeah, I mean, I don't wish those people any harm, but hopefully their truck did expire in a fiery death.
Uh-huh.
On that note, how about a joke? How many tickles does it take to make an octopus laugh?
I don't know, 8? Probably not.
10 tickles.
Oh, nice. Well, I don't think there are any octopodes in this episode of Doctor Who, but we can talk about it anyway.
I bet this episode's got legs, which octopodes don't. Anyway.
So this is the 36th episode of season 4 and the 6th episode of the Faceless ones. Could you remind us of what cliff we were dangling off of at the end of episode 5?
Basically, the Doctor was attempting to infiltrate the aliens by pretending to be one of them. And Jamie had been basically alienized himself. And the Doctor and Ben had snuck on a plane. Wait, is it the Doctor and Ben?
It was the Doctor and the nurse.
Right, yeah. The nurse.
We actually haven't seen Ben and Polly in quite a while.
Right. Doctor and Nurse PETA, or whatever it was, had snuck onto a plane and made it up to the space station and were basically blending in, or attempting to, but it didn't go very well, and the director of the Faceless Ones alien group instantly recognized them, and also recognized that the Doctor is very smart and has been around the block a few times, and maybe they should, get his memories and brain and use his technological uniqueness to augment their own, essentially.
Yeah, they're definitely still the show in general, not just these aliens, but they're definitely still treating the Doctor as a human. We haven't really established that he's an alien yet, but he is a human who's advanced and is way smarter than normal humans, I suppose.
Right. Not only has he been around the block, but he's been around some twists and turns of time.
So yeah, Captain Blade reveals that he knows the Doctor and the nurse are human, as we were just saying, and he lets them know of his true motives, basically, as he marches them off.
We want you intact. That's why I allowed you to come here. I want your brain.
Hot.
Down in air traffic control at the airport, they've had people searching the airport for the comatose original bodies of all the airport employees who've been alien duplicated, but they have not been able to find them yet. They're still looking. The commandant is getting pretty worried about this, that they haven't found him yet, and so he temporarily suspends all outgoing flights from the airport and orders all available airport personnel to report to the airport police, basically, to be assigned a duty to help in the search. The Doctor and the nurse are taken into the office of the alien director, who, of course, is in a body duplicate of Detective Inspector Crossland. Alien Jamie is also there. Jalian or Jamelian, maybe.
Kind of like the sound of chameleon. Yeah.
Yeah, if they're calling the aliens the chameleons. So Chameleon is here at a console in the office, and he's basically giving the director updates on how everything's going and whatnot. The doctor actually notes and calls out that they lost Jamie's Scottish accent in the transfer, and he starts talking about how whoever gets the duplicate of his body will be pretty glad that the original is there on the satellite where it's safe, like Crossland's body is. And he asks Blade and Spencer where their originals are, which of course is like down at the airport somewhere, where Alien Blade and Alien Spencer no longer have any control over. But the director cuts the doctor off.
That's enough. Their originals are perfectly safe. Hidden on Gatwick Airport, where they will never be found.
And that's where you first went wrong.
The doctor, explains to Blade and Spencer, obviously they already know this, but he's explaining to them anyway, that if something were to happen to their originals, they'd be fucked. And Blade is actually first on the list of people to deprocess, which the airport commandant is going to start doing unless the doctor tells him not to. So the doctor is claiming to have received a signal basically just before he boarded the flight that indicates that they found the originals.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have come. Well, if you don't believe me, check with Gatwick Airport. I imagine you know its radio frequency.
We get a short clip down at the airport of Alien Meadows being escorted by the airport police, but he makes a run for it and gets away from them. And then we cut into air traffic control, where they receive a call on the radio from Chameleon Head Q satellite inquiring about some property in which the aliens have an interest. And the commandant bluffs and basically tells them that he does have their property, but he won't tell them where he found it. They really want to know where he found it, but he won't say, because obviously they haven't found it yet.
Right.
Meanwhile, Samantha and Bucket of Apples Cumbershoot's mom are searching the Chameleon kiosk because Samantha remembers seeing some paperwork or something.
You see, it suddenly dawned on me. What would they be doing with so many coaches? Why didn't that occur to me? Oh, you haven't got all the brains in London, 25. There you are. 25 car numbers, 25 people.
The Chameleons are still, trying to get the commandant to tell them at least why he won't tell them where he found their property, quote unquote. And he basically says that the police have it, the police found it, and they just haven't told him yet where they found it.
Nice sidestep there.
Chameleon is basically yeah, whatever, and just hangs up on him on the radio. And air traffic control, meanwhile, receives a call from Samantha and Bumbershoot Climb-A-Ladder's mom. Up in the director's office on the satellite, Captain Blade is yeah, they were totally bluffing. They have not located the originals, obviously. And the doctor insists that they have a surprise coming for them when a bunch of their people are going to disintegrate.
Surprise.
as he does this, as he's insisting this, he also rolls a sleight of hand check, which allows him to shove a screwdriver into the control panel of the processing machine that they want to hook him up to, and the machine explodes.
Nice.
You should have been watching him. Send for a new unit. You haven't averted your fate, only postponed it.
Meow. Meow. Hi, kitty. Meow. 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 Meow.
Well, it's good to have the resident expert making an appearance.
Yeah, I'm sure you all heard the opinions that she has just shared. Samantha and bumbling crud smash, his mom, are now searching the cars in the airport parking lot, and Alien Meadows is hiding and watching them, and he jumps out and attacks Samantha, but the two ladies are able to like fight back and restrain him basically until the airport police arrive. And as they search the parking lot, they also happen to find the comatose body of the customs guy Jenkins in the back seat of a car.
Nice.
And yeah, presumably a bunch of other bodies too.
Right. I mean, that's usually where my comatose body has been found, like, when that's been the case. Back seats of cars.
Yeah, it seems pretty common.
Right.
Up on the satellite, they've gotten the new processing machine out and they're getting it set up. They are working on like hooking the doctor up to it and hooking a still chameleon reptilian form alien up to it. And Jamelian gets another call on the radio from Gatwick claiming again to have found the originals. But the director tells him to just ignore them. So the commandant at the airport calls the airport police and tells them to go ahead, and they remove the armband control device from the comatose Jenkins, and alien Jenkins up on the satellite immediately melts into a puddle of green goo.
Nice.
The director is like, maybe something just went wrong with his equipment. But Blade and Spencer are both like, fuck that, they found the originals.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the cool tech they have seems quite buggy, you know? Like if I was Blade and Spencer, I'd be like, well, you know, could have gone either way. Maybe they found the originals. Maybe he just accidentally brushed the red button and he shouldn't have.
Maybe like the Wi-Fi just cut out for a moment and interrupted the signal.
Right. You know, like that's just shit that happens with technology like this, apparently.
The director's like,
You told me that all the originals were hidden, where they could not possibly be found until the life had been drained from them. Are you now telling me you are careless?
But
like, I just love that question. Are you now telling me you fucked up? I mean, what do you think the answer is going to be? Like, I'm going to figure out every way I can to say,
yeah, I was just following what my boss told me to do, dude.
Right. Like the person that says, yeah, boss, I fucked up. Like, bit of a mistake, you know?
But yeah, Blade and Spencer don't even try to like convince him that they didn't somehow fuck up. They just pull their guns on him.
Well, that's valid. That works also.
So yeah, with two ray guns pointing at him, he allows Jamelian to call down to Gatwick and ask about the originals. So Jamelian asks again, like, where they found them, and they're like, oh yeah, totally, like they were in the parking lot. Like, yeah, we found them.
Nice.
And they're even like, yeah, we already killed one of your dudes. Like, you should have seen Aileen Jenkins melt into a puddle of green goo. The Commandant demands to speak with the Doctor, or he'll start killing more of them, starting with Captain Blade. So up on the satellite, Alien Blade still has his ray gun pointed at the Director, and he demands that they release the Doctor. So they do. And they're like, all right, Doc, go get on the fucking radio and talk to Gatwick. And the Doctor is like, not until you also release the nurse. So Blade and Spencer release the nurse, and the Doctor gets on the radio and tells the Commandant to stand by while he negotiates.
The listener must relax and believe. Everything on the podcast is good and beautiful. You must accept it without question. When you are done listening to this episode, you will leave a rating and review of it on the podcast platform of your choice, and you will tell your friends about the podcast. You will be glad to obey. You will question nothing on the podcast. And now, back to the show.
The Doctor proposes that if they release all the young people that they've abducted, he'll guarantee their continued existence. It'll have to be like back in their chameleon form. You know, they need to also like release the airport employees basically, but they can still exist at least, and their scientists can try to figure something else out. The Director's like, dude, the young people are all miniaturized, and the equipment to reverse that process is all back on our home planet. So, like, no go, basically. But Captain Blade is like, that's bullshit.
The planes themselves are the miniaturization chambers, and they work both ways.
So Blade and Spencer both accept the Doctor's terms. The Director calls them fools, and he gets up to leave. Blade, like, pulls his ray gun back out, and Jamelian jumps up to protect the Director, and Blade kills them both.
Nice.
Uh-huh.
One shot?
No, it was 2 shots, 1 shot each.
Fair enough. Would have been pretty, superhero-ish if you waited until they were just like lined up perfect and just like one-shotted them both at the same time.
I guess Jamelian did block the first shot pretty effectively, though. He could have just let the Director be killed, but...
Right. I guess very selfless thing to do for a chameleon.
So the Doctor gets back on the radio with the airport commandant, and he's basically like, we cool. And then he takes Blade with him to start looking for his friends and Detective Inspector Crossland. Blade takes the Doctor to basically a locker room, and the Doctor finds Jamie in the first locker he opens. He finds Crossland a locker or 2 later, and, they're both kind of starting to wake up and, come back to themselves and whatnot. We cut to the airport commandant ordering a return to normal operations for the airport, and Then we cut back up to the satellite. It's sometime later when like they have a plane full of deminiaturized young people ready to return to Earth. This includes the Doctor's 3 young friends, even though we still haven't actually seen Ben or Polly. Apparently they found him.
Oh, good.
The Doctor and the nurse are also going to take this flight back down to Earth, but Detective Inspector Crossland is going to stay up here on the satellite for a bit longer. He's going to like help tidy things up and basically help get the rest of the young people deminiaturized and sent back down and stuff. Captain Blade asks the Doctor what's going to happen to like all the chameleons basically. And the Doctor's like,
So long as you keep your side of the bargain, you may return to your planet unharmed. Perhaps your scientist will be able to find some way out of their dilemma. I may be able to give them 1 or 2 ideas of my own.
Interesting. So he's still, I guess he recognizes that perhaps not all of them were evil.
uh-huh.
Like he's down to kind of help at least.
Yeah, totally. And like they did apparently have some not really well specified societal drama that they need to solve. So,
right. You know, who knows? Maybe it'll just be him going, actually, you all do have identities. And then going, holy shit, he's right. He's right.
Uh-huh. Yeah, like the ideas that he's going to give to their scientists are like, you know, you might like watch some TV shows and get into them. Like there's some cool books you might enjoy. Like just pick up a few, try some different hobbies.
Yeah, like choose a name or a nickname and like expand upon that.
Uh-huh.
Before you know it, you'll have an identity.
So sometime later, back down on Earth, the Doctor enters the air traffic control room. The Commandant is basically fielding phone calls from various people who are upset about delayed flights and whatnot. The Doctor asks him for the police box that was on the runway, and you know, he wants his property back, basically. So the Commandant gets Benedict Cumberbatch's mom to arrange that for him. The Doctor tells Jamie that they need to go find Ben and Polly and GTFO. I guess, like, even though they were all on the flight together, we the viewers still haven't seen Ben and Polly.
Huh.
And apparently Jamie went to the air traffic control room with the Doctor, but not Ben and Polly. So
weird.
Whatever. Samantha's there too. So Jamie goes to say goodbye to her.
I'd better say goodbye.
Oh. Well, I'll see you around then.
Well, around where?
Well, you know, around.
London's a huge place, lady, for one thing.
She kisses him and she thanks him for his help, and he basically gets flustered and leaves.
Oh, that's cute.
We cut to a car like driving out to some airport hangars. The Doctor and Jamie and Ben and Polly are in the passenger seats, and the car drops them off at a hangar, and the Doctor immediately starts rolling investigation checks.
Well, what are you doing? Doing? I'm looking at the TARDIS, of course.
Ben and Polly actually want to stick around in London for a while, but Jamie's like, nah, fuck this place. Let's go somewhere civilized, like 1750 or whatever.
Nice.
But Ben and Polly realize that this is actually the exact same day that they originally left London with the Doctor. It's the 20th of July, 1966.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So they're just like, nah, for real though, we're out.
Wow. Just like that.
Uh-huh.
You really want to go, don't you?
Well, we won't leave, Doctor, if you really need us.
The thing is, it is our world.
Yes, I know. You're lucky. I never got back to mine. All right, then. Off you go. Now, go on. Ben can catch his ship and become an admiral, and you, Polly, you can look after Ben. Huh?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I guess the Doctor's a pollen shipper.
Yeah, I guess so. Nice. And I mean, he's been to the future, so he probably knows.
Uh-huh. It does kind of suck that, like, Ben's future is, like, advance in his career, and Polly's future is, like, look at Ben.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess it does sort of imply that Ben can't look after himself.
Yeah, that's true.
Polly is the responsible one capable of doing so.
Yeah,
but
I think she probably did earn the person of action more often than he did.
Yeah, definitely. But, you know, why does it have to be her job? Like, watch after this bumbling idiot who will get not saying that he's necessarily an idiot, but like that's kind of the implication, right? Like,
yeah,
this guy gets to have a career and you get to make sure he doesn't fuck up.
So yeah, Ben and Polly get back into the car that took them out to the hangars, and it drives off. As they leave, Ben suggests,
Might see you sometime. Take care.
But spoiler alert, that didn't happen, and that line was actually Michael Craze's final line in the role of Ben.
Oh, wow. Well, he had a good run.
Yeah, totally.
I liked Ben. I mean, he wasn't always perfect. Sometimes he got like propagandized or mind controlled or whatever you want to call it, but you know, he had some pretty good moves. He could like fight and stuff. Or like sneak. He's pretty good at sneaking, if I remember right.
Yeah, he did a few good sneaks.
Yeah. Huh, well, dang. That's very much the end of an era.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Ben and Polly like started out the second Doctor.
Right. Yeah.
They predated him even.
Yeah, that's right. Wow. Wow. Closing a page of that book.
Yeah. I guess Michael Craze said later, I don't know like when he said this, but sometime after, he said that he found their departure to be pretty weak and that he would have preferred for Ben to have been killed off.
Yeah, I can see that. I mean, does feel very Doctor Who, though.
Yeah,
just
that's
being
true.
like, all right, see ya. Maybe we'll see you again. And like, that's that.
Yeah, and like Ben and Polly were never really like as heavy on the let's get us home as like Barbara and Ian, for example.
Right.
But yeah, if the whole thing is like we're randomly going throughout space and time and can't really control when or where we are, I can totally understand that, like, oh, we randomly happen to be on the very day that we left. That would be a great opportunity to be like, yep, I'm done with this. I'm going to get back to like my normal life.
Right. I'm stepping off the carousel now that it's gone full circle. Like, because otherwise, when would you get off?
Who knows if you will ever have this opportunity again. Right.
Certainly not the Doctor, because he doesn't seem to even try, really. Like most of the
time. So they leave, and then the Doctor tells Jamie that they've got things to do.
What things? Well, I didn't tell the others, but we've lost the TARDIS.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I had a literal laugh out loud moment when he said that line.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently the TARDIS was like right here outside the hangar, but is no longer. So they need to figure out what happened to it. And with that, the music plays and the words on the screen say Doctor Who Patrick Troughton.
Nice. So we've at least got a little bit of a TARDIS dangler.
Uh-huh.
Although, I mean, it seems like presumably, next episode and next serial will resume with them looking for the TARDIS in Ben and Polly's world on the day. Like, why couldn't they help out for another couple more days if they're going to hang out?
Yeah, seriously. The Doctor could have been like, look, I kind of lost the TARDIS and was hoping you'd like help me find it maybe, but like you can stay here. Like you don't need to come with me. Just like help me find it and then go.
Right. Like you're from here. You know where things are, probably in London.
Uh-huh.
But whatever. They're probably like, okay, we want to get on to other acting roles. Let's move this along. Actually, I don't know. Maybe they weren't like that.
So I did note, I mean, we mentioned this a little bit earlier, but like Ben and Polly missed most of this serial. They were basically in like the first 2 episodes and then like the last scene pretty much.
Yeah.
The wiki that I read didn't specifically say like if they were on vacation or what, but honestly, I wouldn't really be that surprised if it was more like their contracts ran out partway through the serial and
right.
That was what happened. And then they got like hired on a guest star basis for that last scene, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, BBC like cheaped out and wouldn't extend their contract or something, or I could see that.
Yeah. So to be clear, that is purely my own speculation, but I would not be surprised at all.
Fair enough. Well, that was a pretty fun serial overall. Like, it's kind of nice sometimes to be set in what for them was modern day, 1966.
Yeah, definitely. Like we've not that many, but we've had like 1 or 2 or 3 of those, and they've always been pretty fun and interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so I guess, yeah. Did they ever actually say the name of the serial, the Faceless ones in the serial?
I don't think they did actually. And presumably it refers to the chameleon aliens, but they're not actually like faceless. They did have like eyes and mouth and I think a nose or nose holes at least.
Right. And then other people's faces.
Right, yeah.
So pretty much at any stage they were faceful.
I did read on the wiki that the serial's original name was The Chameleons, like in the pre-production or whatever, and they changed it to The Faceless Ones, which I think as a name sounds cooler, but also is less connected from the serial.
Yeah, I would agree there. I mean, maybe it's kind of a cool, mysterious thing to do to like have the title not be explicitly said in the serial. I'm kind of on board with that. But yeah, interesting. What other notes and observations do you have about the serial as a whole?
So I was going to mention that they actually intended for Samantha to become a companion and to join the Doctor and Jamie. But her actor, Pauline Collins, turned it down in spite of being asked not only by producer Innes Lloyd, but also by Fraser Hines and Patrick Troughton. Like, they all like really wanted her on the show, but I guess she wasn't interested for whatever reason.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And Patrick Troughton was also kind of, I guess, a bit sad about Ben and Polly's departure because, of course, Michael Craze and Annika Wills like really kind of helped him settle into his own role.
Yeah.
You know, like they were the experienced ones when he showed up, and yeah.
Right. What were those shirts they wore when he first started?
Oh yeah, something about like, I don't remember exactly what they said, but some joke about like wanting William Hartnell back or whatever. And
yeah. Just to kind of mess with him.
And yeah, he was like kind of hurt by that, and they were like, oh, like we didn't mean it, and yeah, became good friends apparently.
Cool.
I mentioned earlier in a previous episode that episodes 1 and 3 of the serial survive. They exist. 3 apparently was purchased by a collector at a car boot sale, and it was returned to the BBC like several years later, along with an episode of a serial that we haven't seen yet.
Huh, cool.
And apparently this copy of the Faceless Ones episode 3 was missing about 19 seconds of footage. To quote the wiki, it said, according to Toby Hadoke on the DVD commentary, this is because the owner of the episode watched it excessively, and as a result, the film was starting to break in several places.
Wow.
However, the episode has been restored to its original length by using the complete audio recording, cutaways, and CGI.
Nice.
Yeah.
But that's real dedication. Like, you watch something so much that it's like wears out the film.
Yeah, totally.
Well, cool. Yeah, I liked that one too. A lot of kind of mysterious misdirections and, well, maybe not misdirections, but a lot of just mysterious shit that didn't get answered until much later. And yeah, I guess now that you mentioned, the Samantha thing, it does kind of make sense because like she was getting some pretty good, she had the attitude that would have been right for a companion.
Yeah, like she got the person of action a few times. She was definitely like, gung-ho on investigating her missing brother, and
exactly.
Not really willing to sit back and let other people investigate.
Right. Yeah, well, that's too bad. I mean, I'm sure, as we know, the show continued to be successful, but I wonder, like, if that actor ever regretted her decision later on.
Yeah, it's a good question. I didn't really look up what happened with her career after that.
Yeah, well, we probably would have if she would have stayed on the show. And yeah, that little bit of trivia about Ben Allright come meet Mash's mom.
Yeah, that was fun. In case it was not clear to listeners, I did not pre-prepare any names. Those are all like off the dome.
Nice. Nice. Flowing. Well, cool. Yeah, good one. Nice. Well, maybe not the most satisfying, end to the Pollen ship, but it is nice to know that they did go off to continue the ship on their own.
Yeah,
specifically
for sure.
even probably on ships,
Uh-huh.
given that Ben's an admiral and all that, or he becomes one. You know, you have to be on a ship or two at least for a little bit of time to be an admiral.
Yeah, totally.
So yeah, cool. Well, that's fun though. Like that very much opens up the possibilities for what might go on next. And, you know, not only a new serial, but we've still got Jamie, and I assume, you know, probably sometime relatively soon we'll get some new companions on board as well.
Yeah. Yeah, looking forward to seeing who they've got coming down the pipe.
So would you say that you recommend the serial to someone perhaps less familiar with Doctor Who?
Yeah, I think I would. It was a pretty fun one to watch. Like you said, there's lots of like intrigue. There's cool aliens and cool technology. It's, as I mentioned, it's very easily accessible on YouTube. It's maybe a bit long to watch in one sitting. I think they probably could have gotten it down to like 4 episodes without losing that much. But that said, it never really got boring or anything. It's just like, you know, a bit long for one viewing. And obviously it's notable for being the Pollen ship's final appearance.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think I probably would end up recommending this one as being a pretty fun one to watch.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, that does seem a very good candidate. Yeah, especially given the animatedness and the YouTube-ness of it. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I will very quickly note, just because we're mentioning YouTube, that I did get uBlock Origin installed, and my YouTube experience is now way better.
Oh, right. It's like night and day.
Uh-huh.
Yes. Highly recommend it. Well, cool. Thanks for describing this awesome serial, Kyle.
Indeed. And thanks for joining me on this flight through this serial.
Indeed. Gotta be honest, I did not keep my seatbelt buckled the whole time. And I stood up a few times when I didn't absolutely have to. And I don't regret it for 1 second.
Nice. Yeah, like let's live a little and like stand up during the turbulence.
Yeah, right? Like it's kind of fun.
Uh-huh.
Well, users, as you grip the back of the seat in front of you whilst standing up during turbulence, if you wish to ask us any questions, please feel free to reach out on Gmail or Blue Sky. Or if you see us walking down the street, you're welcome to yell strangely. Or, you know, if you're listening to our podcast on the subway and you hear a bad joke, please do, you know, scream or moan or, you know, groan or a deep sigh.
Uh-huh.
And then if someone asks you, like, why, then you can tell them all about the podcast.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, I'm sure if I heard somebody on the subway screaming about the podcast they were listening to, I would check that out.
Yeah, I'd just be like, you're listening to the Doctor's Watcher, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah, like on the latest episode, yeah, I screamed also around like, you know, time code 3218.
Right. I was screaming almost the whole time, but yeah, you know, that's just how it is.
Uh-huh.
Well, cool. Listeners, if you wish to find out what happened to the TARDIS as much as I wish to, definitely tune in 2 weeks for our brand new serial and our brand new direction for Doctor Who.
Indeed. And until then, we hope that you are not having an armband control device strapped onto you.
Quite so.
Bye.
By the way, Captain Blade, congratulations on bringing this man here. I personally will decide which of our people is to have his identity.
It'll be one of your friends, I've no doubt. But it's understandable. The special people up here feel more secure if their originals are actually in the satellite.
Be quiet.
The director has nothing to worry about because his original, Detective Inspector Crossland, is actually on board. But where's your original? And where's yours?
That's enough. Their originals are perfectly safe. Hidden on Gatwick Airport, where they will never be found.